Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim, this is the Kashkelly and AC Sports Report. Again, I'm not feeling great, so I apologize if my voice sounds sketchy today or whatever the deal is. But I wanted to talk about this. This is something that's been out there all week. You probably at least heard about it, and a lot of you probably didn't look into it. At Holy Family University, it's a smaller college right outside of Philly, there was a conflict this week where the coach, John O'Connor, he gets mad at the player Matt Kravchuk, elbows him in the nose, pushes him to the ground, and then kind of walks over, and people want to say kick. He just kind of put his foot into him, if that makes sense. I'll leave the video link in the information, but you got to see it, really, for it to make sense, and then watch this video. But I want to get your guys' opinion on this. He kicks him, he curses him out, and the kid actually broke his wrist, and obviously his nose is bloody, and he broke his wrist falling, trying to deter his fall, and his nose gets bloody. Now, the video, obviously, as I just said, has gotten out, and, to me, it's pretty bad. There's people saying, well, this is just part of the game. You know what, I'm younger, and I'm normally an old-school mentality type, but I don't understand why it's okay for people to hit other people. It's not for me. Because if a player hits another player, they're getting suspended most of the time. If a coach hits another coach, they're in trouble. Like, look at Tom Cable last year. So, I just don't understand why people can say that this is okay, that this is just part of sports. He bloodied his nose, he broke his wrist. That, to me, is not okay. And some of the older school guys, some of the younger school guys, leave your thought. I play basketball. Well, I didn't this year because I was injured, but I play basketball at the school. And if I got hit in the face by a coach, I'd be pretty pissed. And people called this kid a pussy all week because, he went to the school, and the school did absolutely nothing about it. They ended up suspending this player or the coach indefinitely after, this whole thing went to the internet and all this, and people are saying, why aren't you doing this? What's the deal with this? But the school did nothing. So he goes to his parents, who get really pissed and go to the school. School still does nothing. They file the report with the police. And this is something that really doesn't make sense. The DA said that there was no grounds for assault. I don't understand how there's no grounds for assault. What else do you need? The guy backhands him in the nose, pushes him down to the ground, his wrist is broken in the process, then he walks over, sticks his foot into him, and then 10 minutes later, he basically curses him out of the gym, which the cursing part I have absolutely zero problem with. That's just part of sports. But he curses him out and tells him to just leave. And that part I understand. You can get pissed at a player, tell him to leave. It's all good. But you can't do what this guy did and get away with it. The DA said there's no grounds for assault. Now, I listened to this kid's attorney. He actually took this to Good Morning America, which I think is one of the stupidest things he possibly could have, because it made him out to look like a baby. First of all, what do you accomplish by going to Good Morning America? Nothing. I just don't get it. The coach, now, why the coach would possibly, what the draw for him to go on Good Morning America was, I have no idea. I think he's probably just a stubborn guy that wanted to kind of give the world the big middle finger before he got canned. But this is the part that makes even less sense for the coach, and the player for that matter. The coach is asked, after all this being said, what do you have to say to Matt Kravchuk, the player? John O'Connor's asked that. And he said, you know what, I don't really feel like I did anything wrong, but I'm sorry, it was an accident, I didn't mean to go this far. First of all, how do you accidentally backhand some kid in the face? There's no accident about that. And then he helps push him to the ground after the hit is taking him to the ground anyway. How's that an accident? Then he walks over, and whether or not it meant to get up or anything, it doesn't matter. You stick your foot into the kid's stomach, basically. It's not right. You can't do that and just get away with it. I don't understand how people can say, oh, I have no problem with this, Bobby Knight did this. It's a different time, though. everything's got to be politically correct, which I hate about the world. But in this case, you can't do this to a player. That's not fair. That's not right. You know, this wasn't anything about we're trying to make the team play better. This was about trying to taking out something on this player. That's what this was about. If you watch the video, I think you get that, because he curses at this kid for 5 minutes straight. I do not get it. I do not get. But then, you know, how do you? If the coach is going to go on Good Morning America, wouldn't you think he could kind of say, you know what, I'm sorry. I understand what I did was wrong, and I didn't mean to do it. Why can't you just do that? Whether or not you think it's true or not, it doesn't matter, because the small chance you had of keeping your job is gone there. Because it's such bad PR if the school keeps you from there that it just can't happen. The school can't keep you from that point, and I don't get it. But then, after the guy apologizes, Matt Kravchuk, the player, says, you know what, it's very hard for me to accept your apology. You injured me, which I get that part. And I want some more action taken. And he doesn't really say what he wants to happen, but I think we all know he wants the guy fired. You know, this is just a strange situation. The players actually wrote a letter to the school saying, keep the coach. That's what they actually did. What ended up happening, the coach resigned. He would have been fired no matter what. Matt Kravchuk is not coming back to Holy Family University's basketball team. I think that's basically been said. So both these guys end up losing their affiliation with this basketball team, which probably isn't what either of them wanted to happen. You know, people say this is part of sports. It's not part of sports. You can't be injuring players. You can't be making their nose bleed by backhanding them in the face. That's not part of sports. That's abuse. That's assault. That's what assault is. I mean, this DA is an idiot, apparently, if you can't figure out that that's assault. I don't get it. I'm younger, and like I said, normally I believe in the old school beliefs, but not when it comes to thinking it's okay to, like, abuse players. If you want to run the players till they puke, that's one thing. But if you want to sit there and abuse them, that's crossing the line for me. And I can't. If I'm on this team, I just couldn't imagine coming back to play for this guy, let alone writing a letter to the school saying, yeah, keep this coach, he's a good coach. Obviously, I've never been on this team. This kid's supposedly not well liked by the rest of the players, but I don't understand why you have to take a side if you're on this team. I don't understand why you would possibly support this coach for what he did, because that could have been you. And maybe this kid was pissing him off so much. That's all well and fine. Kick him off the team if that's what's necessary. Or just don't play him. But you can't hit him in the face. You can't push him to the ground. And you can't, you know, kind of kick him and do all this shit and then say, oh yeah, by the way, it was an accident. You can't do that. And I mean, I don't understand what people are thinking when they think this is acceptable. They say, well, it's part of sports, it's part of motivation. Motivation is verbally saying stuff to the kid. I have no problems with calling them out verbally. Obviously, there's a line there, too. But, I don't know. I mean, apparently sports have changed, because I think the people I've listened to that think this okay are older guys who probably had similar stuff like this happen to them. Well, it's changed now, and I think that's the bottom line. It's changed, and you can't allow this to happen in sports. Holy Family University should have at least suspended this guy originally. Should have fired him, in my mind. Assault. People are saying that that's ridiculous that this guy go to jail. No, maybe it is ridiculous for him to go to jail. He shouldn't have had a job, and he should have had to pay a fine. I have no problem with the team saying, you know, we don't want this guy back. Because obviously, he did something wrong that forced this attack. And I think up to this point, we've heard that he was even kicked off the team last year. So, you know, obviously this guy's not a smart person, or he's a baby, or all the above. I mean, I don't know. Leave your thoughts. Maybe I'm way off on this one. But to me, I mean, look at this picture I've had up the whole video. I think that tells it all. You don't even see the bloody nose, and it looks pretty bad. So, I'm Tim. Leave your thoughts, please. This is an interesting topic. I'll see you later.